Hello everyone. Today I'm basically going to talk about what are the advantages of starting the IPMAT preparation in class 11th. First, let us look at IPMAT and overview. IPMAT basically stands for Integrated Programs in Management after class 12th. IPMAT and overview. Now, let us see which are the 5 IIMs who offer a 5-year integrated program. The first IIM who started a 5-year integrated program was IIM Indore, which launched the 5-year integrated program in the year 2011. Then IIM Rohtak started the program, then came Ranchi and finally Jammu and Bodh Gaya. So as of now, there are 5 IIMs who offer a 5-year integrated program. IIM Indore has its own entrance test called IPMAT Indore. Also, Rohtak has its own entrance test called IPMAT Rohtak. IIM Ranchi does not have its own entrance test. They accept the IPMAT Indore test. Now, for getting into Jammu and Bodh Gaya, they have a joint entrance exam called IPMAT. And the number of seats across these 5 IIMs are 150 is the intake for Indore, 180 is for Rohtak and 120 each for Ranchi, Jammu and Bodh Gaya. Now, let us look at what is the selection criteria for getting into these 5 IIMs. Now, as we can see, there is a personal interview for Indore, Rohtak and Ranchi. The candidates will receive an interview call if they clear the sectional marks which are required in the various entrance tests. Also, there is an academic weightage for the Rohtak test. There is a good 20% weightage on the 12th marks. Now, personal interview is important. You get a personal interview shortlist only if you clear the entrance test, and class 12 score is very important for the Rohtak test. Now, very important, let's see the test structure and the various cutoff. So, for the IPMAT Indore, the test structure is, it has 3 major sections. First is QA short answers. This is a section which has 15 questions but without any options. And the marking scheme is you get +4 for every correct answer and there is no negative marking. The second section is QA MCQs, which is quantitative aptitude multiple choice questions, which has 30 questions and you get +4 for every correct answer and there is -1 for every incorrect answer. The third section is verbal ability. Again, there are good 45 questions, +4 and -1 is the marking scheme. Very important, in the IPMAT Indore test, we have a sectional time limit. So, you get 40 minutes each for each of these 3 sections. So, total number of questions are 90 to be answered in 120 minutes. If we see the table below, this is the cutoff for the general category for the year 2023. The cutoff for QA short answers was 12 marks, means the candidate had to get only 3 questions right out of 15 questions. Whereas the cutoff for quant was 39 questions, 39 marks. The cutoff for verbal ability was 125 marks. And if we see the cutoff for the year 2022, the short answer cutoff was 20 marks. Followed by 43 was the cutoff for MCQs and 112 was the cutoff for verbal ability. Now, very important, the highlights are, each of the section has a sectional time limit. That means if you start with a particular section, you have to spend 40 minutes for that section only. You cannot carry forward any minute to the next section. Now, why is IPMAT QA difficult to crack? Very important, the QA section, the most important section is the QA short answers, which is a very unique session in the test. You are being tested on multiple concept based questions, mixed bags questions, wherein not only single concept but multiple concepts are being tested in a single question, and multiple concepts are combined in a single question, and advanced maths topics are also included. To name a few, the topics are functions, trigonometry, statistics, and so on and so forth. The areas in which the maths is basically tested are algebra. We have arithmetic like percentage, profit and loss, time, speed, distance, time and work. We have geometry. We have advanced and modern maths. We have numbers. and yes, we do get a set on data interpretation. Then why is IPMAT VA difficult to crack? Very important, the cutoffs are very high. As we saw, the cutoff for this year 2023 was 125 marks. Last year it was around 115 marks. So the cutoff for the VA section are quite higher. So you get questions on vocabulary, direct and word usage questions. Then we get inference based questions. We get so we need a lot of consistent and continuous practice is required to get that many marks to clear the sectional cutoff for verbal ability. And you do get para-jumble questions with multiple choice question options. The areas in which the VA is tested is reading comprehension. Then you get vocabulary, direct and word usage questions, grammar questions, verbal reasoning, and para-jumbles and para-completion. So good amount of reading, vocabulary building is essential to crack the verbal ability test section. Then preparation plan for the IPMAT 25. Phase 1. Overall, if we take the count of the number of chapters that we need to work upon for maths, logical reasoning, DI and English, the number of topics are around 70 plus chapters. And even if a candidate solves around 70 to 80 questions per chapter, so overall we need to solve good amount of 5,000 plus questions. So apart from learning the concepts in class, it is very important to practice at least couple of exercises per chapters, then taking the topic wise test and finally taking the module test to understand where do I stand in a particular module. And also to have a good command in the VA section, the candidate really needs to work upon the vocabulary and the reading skills. After the phase 1, next comes is your phase 2, the consolidation phase, wherein revision of concepts very important. If I don't revise and keep solving the material, I will never understand where do I stand. So regular revision of the concepts is very essential. You need to work upon the multi-concepts questions, which is oftenly asked in the quant section of the Indore test, mixed bag questions. Then we get the time to take the mock test early if I start my preparation in grade 11. Then of course, once I start taking the mocks, I understand which areas do I lag on and I can start working on my weaker areas. Finally, after the phase 2, which was a consolidation phase, the next phase is the mock test and the past papers. Once my concepts are in place, I have worked upon my weaker areas, I have solved lot of mixed bag questions. The last but not the least is the mock test taking stage, wherein I need to solve at least 20 plus mock tests for the Indore test. Also, the candidate can solve the past year papers, very important. We need to understand what is the best possible strategy for me. Am I lagging in reading comprehension? Am I good in arithmetic? Am I good in numbers? Am I good in advanced maths? So accordingly, the students can have different strategies to attempt the particular section. And of course, we need to learn the advanced tricks, how to solve the question in the best possible manner. Should I solve this question or should I leave this question is also the important part. Now, in a nutshell, all these three phases can be consolidated as follows. The first important is your concept building. So, for a 2025 aspirant, the first phase ends by, if I start right now, this phase ideally will end by July and August of the next year 2024. Then the second phase is your revision phase, which will end by 2024. Since January of 25, the candidate would be writing his board exams. So this mock test and past paper will start from March of 2025 and thereby end in May of 2025. So if I start my preparation right now in grade 11, I get ample of time to work on my concept building in the first year. Then year 2 can be dedicated to revision phase, which is very essential to work on the weaknesses, try difficult level questions, and finally the last stage can be post board, which is just focusing on mock test. Now, the advantages of starting IPMAT preparation in class 11th. Very important, in the year 1, we get good amount of time to understand the concepts at a very base level, which is very essential to understand the advanced level concepts. Then you get ample of time to clear doubts and work on your weaknesses. Then for English, to have a very good command over the VA section, we get good amount of time to work on the vocabulary and the reading skills. Then in the year 2, you get good amount of time to revise concepts so that we can balance our board preparation as well. Solving mock tests early, because if I complete my curriculum on time, I get good time to focus on the mock test and accordingly work on my weaker areas. And last but not the least, the most important point is you get better time to prepare for your boards as you start your IPMAT preparation in the year 11. So in 12th, we don't have to really struggle to find time to work on boards, because my one round of conceptual clarity already gets covered in grade 11, so that I can balance my board preparation in year 12. Thank you.